Hello there, Ray here. I'm joined by Excel, one of the ProTech members.
Hey,
And today, behind us, we have a simple Guardian farm that we're going to show it to you guys. This farm here is a modified version of our previous one, which I'll link down in the description if you're curious. The way that this farm works is that we have spawning spaces in here, and that is these water columns. So each of these individual slots here contains water source, and the water sources are in the stairs, this one as well as this one, and they're able to spawn in here on the top one of it. And then this is flowing water, and it's flowing out towards the end here, and they'll get pushed outwards, and then they will be able to fall down the slit all the way till they hit the bottom. Once the guardians hit the ground here, they will die from fall damage and drop their items here. Underneath here we have some minecarts, which will pick up the items and take them to either end, where we have some hopper cart unloaders. So the hopper minecarts will be unloaded here, and they will be kind of set between these two hoppers. This is twice the unloading speed, and then they'll be put into these dispensers, which are detected, and then they will dispense items using a clock. All the items are taken out through this water stream and taken to the end, where you can take it to your collection system. After doing an overnight test, we got an average of 127,000 items per hour with this farm. This farm will produce the prismarine shards as well as crystals that come from the guardians. You also get some ink sacs that come from the squids, which will fall down on their own, as well as dolphins, which will fall down on their own but won't be pushed by the water current, which drop the raw cod, go to the guardians. And this will allow you to be able to craft up the prismarine bricks, dark prismarine, and even the really neat sea lanterns. And then now you also have the stair variations as well as the slabs. The way that you would build this up is that you would find an ocean monument, and those have a bounding box for the guardians to spawn in, which is 58 by 58 meters. And then you go ahead and fill it in with sand or whatever methods you want to. You use sponge as well. If you want to use a really fancy method, you can use our AFK slimestone machine, which comes across and can fill in the entire thing. It's a floor builder, but it can be also used to fill in ocean monuments or any large structure of water if you wanted to. Once you have filled the whole thing in with sand, then you can go ahead and clear out the sand and build in this top section here, which has the water, and pretty much everything else is just air. And then at the very bottom, we just have some spots for the guardians to hit against, and then some rails. Now these rails will be right on top of the bedrock, so that's how low you will be digging out. Now the top of the ocean will be right here at this level, where this blue line is. So there's this much of the farm that is not being used, and that is just so that the farm is low as possible. Because in 1.13, the spawning of the mobs is per block, meaning if you keep the farm down low, then you will get more spawns when it's down low than if you would move everything up as well as the collection system. If you really wanted to, you could just move the whole thing up, but you would have a bit slower rates. Now guardians are hostile mobs, so it's important to remove other spaces where hostile mobs could be spawning. You go ahead and you can light up caves, stuff like that. If you happen to find some slime chunks, sure to fill those in with water so that the slimes don't hold up the mob cap. But other than that, there's not too much you have to do to get some decent rates out of this farm. Now the AFK point for this farm is way up there. If you would AFK there, then you are far enough away from the majority of the caves, except for the ones that are directly surrounding this guardian farm here. So along the edges, there would be any caves there. You would want to fill those in. And then it's just like a big sphere around the center point. So everything else outside of that sphere, you don't have to worry about. On the ends here, we have an on and off switch for the clocks here, so that you can shut them all down and allow the minecarts to stop and get placed into their holding bays when you're turning the farm off. The spawning spaces up here are our old design, but TT came in and noticed that these can be compacted. So we moved them in by 1 meter on each of them, and that increased the spawning space by 33%. This allowed us to have a lot more spawning spaces while not increasing the size of the farm. Notice that this farm is also quite a bit smaller, as in we're only having about 4 layers per column here, and instead last time we had the entire farm pretty much being used, and we found out after doing some measurements, testing some sizes that are larger as well as smaller, this was the smallest size to get about the same amount of rates out of the farm. This allows you to have a lot less area to have to build up, and instead concentrate more on clearing out down below.
We got the suggestion from KK to remove some of the glass that we had in the middle and just to replace that with more minecarts on the bottom. And now we have less blocks to use and a bigger area for the items to be collected.
I made a small example here showing you how you could waterlog these stairs. So what you want to first do is waterlog the bottom set or waterlogging the top one. That way the top one, water will try to flow into the bottom one. And also there's a cool trick that you can do with the water and waterlog blocks. If you would waterlog this one and this one over here, then the center one will automatically fill in by itself. So let me fill this one in. You can see that this one became a water source. Now we can do the same thing for up here. Put a water source here. Notice how the water flows out and tries to go down there. It won't flow down this hole here. It won't make a mess. We can also fill in this one But in this case, it's not going to flow over in between because it's flowing out. So in which case you have to fill in this one as well. That's all you have to do. The guardians will spawn in this flowing water here and then get pushed out. I also provided the world download down in the description, so you can check out all the blocks and see where they're all placed in to get exactly. Excel made a data pack, which is one that we were using, and this allows you to do a lot of different things, like shows the item rate counter on the side, as well as shows all the number of entities around an area, and it gives them glowing effect if you want to, so see them individually. And it also has the cool ability to make large perimeters, such as this one here, without using any mods. If you want to learn more about this data pack, you can find more information on our Discord in a channel called Mods and Helpful Tools. We have a couple other designs which we'll be showing in the future, but for now, you have this nice and simple Guardian farm. So if you guys found this interesting, show us with a like and share this with others. If you'd like to see more farms like this for 1.13 and beyond, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell button to get notifications. And if you have any questions, be sure to ask us down in the comments. Bye-bye!